Welcome, everybody. Yes. Yes. Hello, and welcome to the incredible book launch live stream for Grace Helbig's Grace's Guide: The Art of Pretending to Be a Grown Up with Grace Helbig.
Yay! And Hannah Hart. Yay!
Hey, everybody. Hey. So Grace, first and foremost, thank you so much for texting me earlier today and saying, hey, can you do this?
Yeah.
Really appreciate that.
I mean, what are friends for if not exploiting for your own benefit?
I think that is...
It's a chapter in the book. It's one sentence, just that.
It's called The Art of Exploitation.
Yes.
So Grace.
Yes.
As an author, you know, one of the first questions that I, as an author, was asked all the time was, do you feel any different? Do you feel like you have changed in some way?
No. I feel very similar. I feel, and I'm sure you had this moment where it's like, you understand on a functioning level that you have written a book and it exists in the world, but it doesn't hit you, I think, until a little bit later on. So right now it's a lot of like, yay, I think this is all cool. Yes, fun. Yeah. But I haven't really processed it.
No, but the book just came out today.
It did come out today, which is very strange because also it's already been in bookstores and people have gotten it. I guess Amazon's like, hey, look, we're very official. Psych! People get books whenever we say so.
Yeah. You know what's so funny is that the same thing happened. Like Amazon Canada gets their book before anybody else. And it was,
but they get the shit end of the stick like 99% of the time. So give them
being
books.
Canadian, Grace? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, for being really great.
I'm sorry, Canada. The words said here today are not the views of YouTube, Hannah Hart, or anybody else affiliated.
Great syrup.
Great syrup. But this book is really cool. I would love to talk more about it. I haven't gotten a copy yet because I thought that
I sent you one, and every time Hannah kept coming over to my house and seeing books of like boxes of books, I was like, stop, don't touch them. Yours is in the mail. And then it turns out wasn't.
And there's only one other person who didn't get their copy of the book yet.
Mamrie Hart.
Yes.
So I also thought I'd sent a book, who also came over, was like, can I just take this one? I was like, no, you have one.
What you guys don't know is literally last night or the night before when I was in California, I was saying to Mamrie, I was like, you know, Mames, I bet Grace like just did something like really sweet and personal with our copies.
Yeah.
You know, like she like wrote a little note or something and like, I mean, we'll get them soon. Then I arrived today and she's like, whoa, dude, totally forgot.
Yeah. I'm like, there's like 4 boxes in the hallway if you just want to go grab one.
I'm gonna take this one. I'm gonna get you to sign it.
Yeah, great.
But because I actually don't have a copy, do you want to talk about the structure of the book, like what the book is, what it's like?
Yeah, sure. It's kind of a tongue-in-cheek self-help guidebook for millennials, and each chapter is structured with a little anecdote in the beginning that kind of lets you know that I've had a personal experience with the advice that I'm about to give you. So it's not just complete BS.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go into giving you tips, and then every chapter ends with an acronym that I thought would be helpful for you to remember what all of the tips were. Acronyms like a fist biscuit and igloo dog. Yeah, I have an entire notebook of like acronyms that didn't make the cut. It's like diaper pants, like all kinds.
One of them's just the alphabet.
Yeah, one of them's just Hannah Hart. No one will remember that.
Well, that's pretty cool though. But like, you know, as you know, I know you, but you're not really somebody that's very comfortable disclosing a lot of personal information about yourself. So what was that like, you know, putting, I guess, a little bit of you into every chapter?
Yeah, I knew that I wasn't writing a memoir, so it was very easy to kind of take myself out of the equation. But I know for myself, a lot of this is inspired by reading self-help books after I graduated college with my college/first life roommate, Michelle Vargas, who's here.
Hey!
Oh, Michelle Aiken, she's married. Wandering Eyes, she's taken.
She's taken, everybody. You read self-help books after college?
Yeah, big time. We got big
What
into
happened?
that. We read Eat, Pray, Love, got really affected by it, and then started reading a bunch of self-help books. And I realized that a lot of them kind of regurgitate the same information in different ways. And so I felt the only way that people will really take me seriously on some of the advice that I do sincerely think is helpful is by telling my story and how I've come to this conclusion or how I've noticed or observed this in the world. So I made a real point. to put personal stories in there that I hadn't said online or in other places before.
Or out loud.
Or out loud, just to anyone at all, ever. Hannah doesn't know half the stories in there. So.
And I never will because I don't have a copy
It's
of the book.
in the mail. It's in the mail.
It's in the mail.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
Well, do you have a I guess a chapter, a section in particular that you feel is particularly helpful, particularly personal?
A lot of the feedback that I've got, and I talked about this a little earlier in an interview, is on the chapter where I talk about my own personal struggles with anxiety, which happened, for years while I was living in New York before I really kind of recognized what it was. And I always felt very strange talking about anxiety, especially on the internet, because right now it's really popular to talk about your personal struggles with anxiety. And I didn't want anyone to think that like Grace is just trying to be on trend. She's just trying to be sad because everyone else is sad.
I don't think
so.
I'm not too sure that anybody is like worried about you trying to just be on trend.
That's my anxiety telling me that they're telling me that my anxiety is not real.
Yeah. You know what's so funny about anxiety though is like you really can't tell what it is. Like when I first started getting like the very first time I got a panic attack, I saved it actually, and I wrote on my little hospital bill, Hannah's first panic attack. And here's why.
You should never have a child.
I'm taking that kid to the hospital every day.
All the time.
Like,
Hannah literally text messages with her doctor. Like that's how great she is at thinking she's dying constantly.
Well, I am though.
Well, we're all dying.
We all die. We're all living a little bit every day. No, but the reason.
Sorry, just contemplating my mortality. Done.
Trigger warning.
Yeah.
This live stream.
Yeah.
The reason I went those because I thought I was allergic to bread. I was like eating bread at a business meeting, and I was like, this
okay,
is
wait. What meeting are you just eating bread at?
People eat, Grace.
Yeah, but like, don't mind me. Brought my own bread.
No, it was like a luncheon kind of thing. I mean, it's just one of those things.
Can I get a sandwich? None of the middle stuff. Just the bread.
I was feeling nervous and I just ate bread.
No, I said this today that anytime I have a day where like I'm doing events, I'm out of a safe bathroom scenario, I don't experiment with any food that I think could have a problem. And I was saying today I should just eat bread all day.
That's your anxiety talking.
All the time, constantly.
It's talking all throughout this book.
Yay!
Grace'sGuidebook.com. Now, before we open it up to questions and other people's voices, I guess. There's one part of the book that I actually really want to point out because it's something that when you first shared it with me when you were writing it, I was like, wow, that's great. Which is the advice from your mom. Sprinkled throughout.
Yeah. My mom is a really sweet woman, and in reflecting on life has really made me the person that I am today, even though I tried for years in my angsty early 20s to repress and not believe that. Hi, Mom. I think you're watching because you've been forced to figure out the internet because of your daughter. Yay!
What up?
And so my mom used to write these chat books, which were poetry books, and she would self-publish them herself. She'd get them all printed up. She'd write, 100 poems, print them up in these little chat books, and she would like give them out and try and sell them at like her poetry meetings and stuff like that. And I never realized like how entrepreneurial that was of my mom to think she was like, this is gonna make me the next
Mary Oliver.
What's the poet? David Frost, Robert Frost. Yeah, he goes by David.
I like that your mom is she would bring it to the poetry like workshopping sessions. Like, hey guys, so just by the way, you want to buy my book?
Yeah, exactly.
Can we still buy your mom's book? Can I buy a copy of your mom's book?
Yeah, there's probably copies. She'd be happy to make you some.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so she used to do that, and so I thought that it would be really fun since I've already forced her to be in a lot of videos and have really exploited her for my own personal gain, to ask her to do something I knew she would really like, which is contributing to the book. And I gave her like the broad list of topics that I was talking about in the book and just said, write whatever you want, send whatever quotes you want. And she sent me an email of quotes, and I didn't even read it. I just forwarded it on to my editor. I was like, great, thanks, Mom. And like, there were so many things happening. I didn't even read it. I didn't even read them until a couple weeks ago. I recorded the audio version of the book, and I was forced to read the book all the way from start to finish. Forced. I volunteered under contract. No, it was great. I actually was really, really happy that I got to do that.
Oh, God.
And so, that was the first time that I was reading my mom's quotes out loud. Like, I hadn't even thought to, like, look at them when I got copies of the book. That's how, like, dumb my brain is. And I was reading them, and there's probably all this stuff that the audio guy had to cut out of me being like, blah, 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 blah. oh, Mom, like audibly saying that while I was recording the audio
Is
version.
your audiobook available? Is it already out?
Yeah, the audiobook's available at
audible.com/yourhearto for your
All
free
right.
copy.
You can have it.
Does that count, Audible? Can I check that off? No, but that's really wonderful.
Yeah, and I was really like taken aback and very overwhelmed by my mom's just thoughtfulness and kind of like introspectiveness about herself and the world and things. I was like, did she really not rip these from like quotes.com or something?
That's where Grace gets all her material.
Yeah,
well,
big
it
time.
seems like that is probably something that is inherent to you, because at this point you have written an entire book that is effectively like an approachable self-help book. So I think that's something to be proud of, dude. Like,
thanks.
you can do that too.
I'm trying.
Just
so
so
hard.
Yeah,
it's just
life is just sad.
Just kidding. It's great. Yay.
But one of my favorite quotes from your mom in there is the don't sit under an orange tree waiting for apples to fall.
Yeah, where did she learn that? I don't know, but
some
it's great.
people make observations and reflect on life.
Yeah, my mom is one of them.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure she's watching this live stream. Mom, your hair still looks really great.
You're beautiful, Teresa. Just
Yeah.
waiting for the day. We can
Beautiful
do this.
inside and out. Great job.
Okay,
Wait,
guys,
what?
and now I'm at a
Something gross just happened.
no, not gross. So what you guys can't see, those of you watching the live stream at home, is that we are actually surrounded by, we're in a room filled with beautiful, awesome people.
Yeah.
And
Yeah! Beautiful and awesome, and I'm gonna take a photo. Okay, wait, I'm gonna make it square.
I don't have anything.
Yay! Everyone get in and look cute. Okay, you nailed it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good job, guys. You knocked it. You
yeah.
knocked it out of the park.
Solid medium all around. I look like a horror puppet. Cool. Into it.
Where's the section in the book about positive affirmations for?
No, that got cut.
Okay, well, so again, those of you watching at home, there's a lot of wonderful people in this room, and these wonderful people have submitted questions prior to coming here, and I have selected questions that you guys.
I just heard like an audible groan from everyone. Oh, geez, yeah, you didn't know that what you typed was going to get used. That's how the internet can trick you.
You think it's private? Just kidding, it's public.
Yeah, we're all being watched by the government.
Yeah.
Just kidding. What?
Okay, is Roseanne Fakuri here? Hey,
Yeah.
Roseanne, I'm about to read your question.
Yeah.
Roseanne looks very excited, guys. Very excited. Roseanne's question for you, Grace Ann Helbig, author of Grace's Guide, The Art of Pretending to be a Grown-Up, available in stores everywhere, also available at Grace's Guidebook.
I know you're ramping while I type this. I'm very sorry. I'm listening. And set and spike. Go. Sports. Yeah.
So the question for you from Roseanne is, were there any stories that you thought twice about before putting in the book?
Were there any stories that I thought twice about before putting in the book? Yeah, there's some relationship stuff in there that I was very hesitant, and I had to ask permission from certain people to put in books, and gladly they were very nice and permissive about it. So it's in there, yeah. And I feel like I know it's stuff that like I feel like my mom's gonna be like, "What? Why didn't you talk to me about this when this was happening?"
And you're like, "Mom,
I was saving it for a book, Mom. That's why."
That's it, kids. If you're ever struggling at home, just think to yourself, man, this is going to be a great book someday.
Yeah, exactly. Except, yeah. Yeah, that was definitely one of the things that I was hesitant to talk about, but I think it was really helpful. And it was actually like a really fond memory looking back to a lot of these stories that are in there are very much repressed memories that I recalled for the sake of the book, which was really fun. Who knew?
Yeah, it's called processing.
Yep.
People do it. And that's how you remember your past.
Yep.
So here we go. Next question. This one comes from Samantha Winowski.
Yeah!
Samantha.
Okay, now we have a face to judge when we hear this question.
Oh. I thought you guys were just going to maintain steady eye contact.
Can't do it.
Hey. That's not your question. This is your question. Samantha's question is, Grace?
Yes.
how did you gain the confidence to interact with such a vast audience?
Oh, wow. Okay. The gain the confidence to interact with such a vast audience. I think it wasn't necessarily about like making a point, like I'm going to be confident and interact with a vast audience. It was like I like being at home by myself and with my roommate making stupid videos and putting them on the internet to people that I don't have to see watching them. And then at the same time, I was doing improv in the city in front of actual human beings. So having that balance of performing and getting live feedback from people and then going home and being the introvert that I wanted to be and creating the content I wanted to create in front of invisible people was also really fun. And I think it just cultivated over time. You know, it's one of those things, the more it's always terrifying, which is really great. I hope it's never not terrifying, because fear, I think, is a really great fear, because it really motivates a lot of other feelings that you can have as a human being. So every time it's scary, and every time that I talk in front of people, it's always really rewarding after. And I think the more you do it, it gets easier. It never gets the easiest, but it gets easier.
Yeah. Would you say for anybody who's like, you know, feels pretty introverted, that improv or something of the like is a good way of getting over that?
I always recommend improv. I think that it's a really great tool to have. It teaches you one of life's most valuable lessons that you can use across the board, which is just saying yes to things. The idea of like, even if it's something you've never thought of or something that your brain would instantly say no to, what happens when you say yes? When you explore that idea, it becomes something that you could that could be really positive that you wouldn't have otherwise let yourself experience.
Oh, that's really lovely, Grace.
Yeah, more on gracesguidebook.com.
That's not boring. That's good and heartfelt. Yeah, you know what? Sorry. You know what one of Maggie's favorite quotes is?
What?
It's confidence is a lie. And guess what, guys? It is.
Yeah.
Anybody who isn't nervous speaking to a group of people
can eat shit.
It probably probably eats people. They're probably like a sociopath.
Yes, true. Or a robot. Good job, Tokyo. I'm assuming.
There goes our invitation to use Two-Space Tokyo just out the window. Again. Okay, the next question comes from Sam Fels. Sam, you here? Oh, good job. Good job question picking, Hannah. Next question. Katie Hauer. Katie Hauer. You today? Just kidding. Katie's over there. Oh, Grace.
Ready, I'm awake.
Okay. If your guidebook was out when you were younger, how would that have changed some of your decisions?
Interesting. Part of like my mindset in making this was to make a guidebook that I would have wanted to read when I was younger, something that felt real, that felt like unapologetic for not knowing everything, but strongly in the things that it did know. So I feel like a lot of self-help books have this quality to them where they make you think like, this person clearly knows how to do everything, and that's definitely not me at all. This is just a conversation starter. I was saying this before, that and you know this, you get feedback from the internet whether you want it or not. You are constantly having conversations. And so this book, if anything, should start conversations between me and you, between yourself and your friends, between you and your siblings, between you and your parents, whatever that may be. It's not a Bible. It's not the end all be all way to live your life. It's just, hey, here's some things that I've figured out. Does this relate or affect you, and how? Talk amongst yourselves. Yeah.
It's not a Bible?
No.
Oh. So like, what about the people who are like starting an amateur religion based on this? Have you seen that yet?
Oh, I mean, yeah. Everyone wants to feel part of something. So,
I mean. So true. So wise. You've got
religious,
a lot of wisdom, dude. You've got a lot of like little nuggets of wisdom.
Thank God, 'cause I don't know facts. Yeah. Tim and John, my brothers, got that. They can be so good at Jeopardy. That's a tangent. Anyway.
See, you just educated. That is what we call a tangent.
A tangent.
Speaking of tangents, Tanja Nagler asks, Tanja, you here? Tanya with a J. Yeah.
Yay.
Is it Tanya? Tanya? Great. What's next for you?
Oh, what's next for me? I have no idea. And that's the honest truth. I have never had a 5-year plan, don't have a 10-year plan. I say this a lot. And like I said, going back to the basic principle of improv, a lot of the greatest opportunities and things that have happened to me have happened because I've said yes to a person or an idea that I thought was really cool or really great. And and that's how I want to continue doing things. I don't know. Yeah.
Just like it's Grace. I don't know.
Yeah.
So-
I feel like that's the only way to live my life.
Okay, let's get less deep. You know, this is a fun one.
Okay.
This is from Saif. It's Saiph.
Saif.
Saif.
Take it.
Marrero asks, if you queef from your butt, is it called a beef? So when somebody's like, we got beef, you're like, oh.
I know.
I
God,
know.
it makes me want to write a movie. Beefs on a Plane. Story of Grace Helbig. That's my memoir.
As someone who sat next to you on lots of planes, I can say yes, it is.
Yeah. It brings a whole new meaning to where's the beef? In my butt.
Recently exited.
Not anymore.
Well, good to know.
That's really great.
No
You
wonder
know,
Saif didn't raise their hand and say that's me because
No.
I knew their
Saif's-
question was coming.
Saif's probably beefing up a storm somewhere. Who
Just
knows?
such excited little beefs propelling them into space.
That's I honestly think that one of the funniest words in the English language is beef.
Yeah.
It's just like, think about it. Beef.
Beef.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. Oh, God.
There's a whole chapter on it, actually.
Yeah.
It's called Words Grace Thinks Are Funny.
Yeah, it's really great.
Beef. Okay, well, Jeffrey West, are you here? Do you think beef is a funny word? Great.
You're allowed to stay.
You may remain. Jeffrey over there, thank you so much for participating against your will.
Yay.
Here's another fun question coming from Jeffrey, that guy right there.
Yeah, we
And-
met the other day. You're a twin.
Oh.
If one of you beefs, does the other one feel it?
What's your name? What's your twin's name? Jeremy and Jeffrey?
They have great Instagrams.
Do they?
Mostly because there's a photo of me on their Instagram.
Ooh. Okay, so Jeffrey asks, if you could do anything while skydiving, what would you do?
Oh, if I could do anything while skydiving, it'd probably be not
Survive. Like,
skydiving. Yeah.
make it safely to the ground.
Yeah.
Do you want to skydive?
Not particularly. My first like real sincere college relationship was with this guy named Dave, and I met his parents for the very first time when we went to visit them in North Jersey, and he and his dad went skydiving as part of his dad's like birthday gift or Father's Day gift or something. So it was me sitting with his mom and his sister while his mom and his sister are just like imagining their husband and son dying, and me being like, so I'm a communications major, like trying to have a conversation. And it was such an awkward day. But I
God.
will say the only reason I'd really want to go skydiving other than like to win money would be because they make, for those of you that have gone skydiving, I'm sure you know, they make the most ridiculous montage video of you when you're skydiving. Yeah, and they make it like on site within like 5 minutes. But the best thing is because there's no audio of you like talking, it's all to like that, you know, royalty free rock music. They just constantly make you give thumbs up the whole time. So he and his dad got the video and we watched it later, and it's literally just a montage of them like having a helmet on. And then like being in the airplane, thumbs up, and then like coming down, landing, thumbs up. It was so great. Oh, it was like, this is high art. I get it. Yeah.
So you know what? Literally, high art.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That joke didn't fly.
No.
So first you give him a bad joke, and then you give him a worse joke.
And then the bad joke looks awesome.
Yes, nailed it. Yeah, I have no desire to skydive. Is there anything else you have no desire to do?
Bungee jump.
Yeah.
I know you had the opportunity to do that in Australia.
Australia, yeah.
And Mamrie did it.
I know, and I refused to. And it was so funny though, because everybody's trying to convince you to do it. And they're like,
Yeah.
you have nothing to be afraid of. You're perfectly safe. And I was like, oh, I know. Also, if you gave me a raw piece of steak, I wouldn't want to eat it. And they're like, you
Yeah.
can be safe. This isn't going to kill you. I don't want to eat that. I don't want to fall to my death
Yeah.
with a rope tied around my ankles.
Well, the scariest thing that Mamrie told me about it is that they write your weight on your hand in Sharpie. So like she was like on camera bungee jumping, already terrified, and then also was like, here's how much I weigh, everybody. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, but Mamrie did it and she rocked it and she loved
Look
it.
at
And it
the
was
gifs
awesome.
of it. She's wearing like a GoPro, and she forgets that she's wearing the GoPro down here, and it's her like standing on the ledge and being like, And then she does it, and it's like
I get chills just thinking about it. I have no desire to fall from anything. I have
or to have my feet tied together is just kind of claustrophobic and terrifying.
Yeah, no, not into that, you know, or like maybe
there's
one
just
day,
like, you guys just stay in and write books.
Yeah. And the last question that we have of the pre-selected by me questions in this room, comes from Madison Lutz.
Yay!
Hey, Madison, thanks for being here. Madison asks, Grace, what were you like as a kid?
Oh, what was I like as a kid? Okay, well, there were phases of Grace, like the moon.
Grace's phases?
Yeah, Grace's phases. And when I was younger, yes. When I was younger, I was awful. When I was like 2 to 4, like tantrums all the time. My mom was a single mom. She tells me a story that I conveniently forget, but apparently she was like holding me in the grocery store line, and I was like wailing, crying, and I just like ripped out a chunk of her hair while I was in line. Yeah, I was a go-getter.
That's real bad.
Yeah,
that's real bad.
Strong. Very strong for my age. Very strong. Great biceps.
You could understand what the weak points were, and you just went for them.
Yeah. I was like, this won't show. But I was awful. And then when I got into high school, I was super quiet. I was like into sports and into like getting good grades. I wasn't the smartest person, but I wasn't the dumbest. And I really loved track and field and tennis and that sort of thing. And I was really, really quiet. And that's kind of when I started to cultivate like comedy as a coping mechanism, I guess. My older brothers were to me, they were the funniest people in the world. And they used to make these sketches, and they would watch Monty Python. And they showed it to us, like me and my younger brother. They would also always pit me and Tim against each other in like physical things. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Who would win?
Tim went through a chubby period in which I won all.
So you won? I just figured like that would give him the upper hand.
I mean, Tim, to his credit, he went with it. He had nothing. He tried. Oh God, so many memories of Tim being just a champion. My older brothers used to pick on him so much. And I remember, this is just to give you a little insight into my brother and his personality. My stepbrother for college, he made this short film called Little Apocalypse. And
Little Apocalypse?
Yeah, it was this comedy film. It was like really bizarre and weird and really funny. And at the end, there was a fight scene between all these homeless people and the main like superheroes. So he had me and my family all come and play the homeless people, which is really great. I'm in like a wheelchair, and my dad's pushing me, and I'm just like kicking my legs while my dad's pushing me with like a lance. But Tim decided he wasn't going to be a homeless person. He's, okay, mind you, probably 3rd grade at this point. He goes up to my stepbrother, Mike. He goes, Mike, I've developed a character. I'd like to be Citramaton. And he created a superhero that squeezed citrus into the eyes of its opponents. And he made his own costume out of paper plates that he colored yellow, and he somehow bought lemons, and he had a helmet. And so it's all me and my family pretending to be homeless people fighting, and then cuts to Tim just with lemons going like this.
That's amazing.
And he's in 3rd grade. And we're like all pushing shopping carts with like dirt on our faces, and Tim's just roving with lemons. So yeah, creativity just like ran in our veins. We couldn't stop it.
Apparently, and making brave choices at an early age.
God, Citramaton, just the best. Yeah, okay. Really sweet.
So from 2 to 4, you were a terror.
So from 2 to 4, high school was really quiet.
What about between? What's elementary school, middle school? Let's dig that up.
Yeah, elementary school and middle school. Elementary school and middle school were like elementary school was fine. Then I moved in 4th grade, and then moving in 4th grade into middle school in my town that I grew up, the middle school and high school were in the same building because our towns were so small. They were 1 square mile. So 4 different towns went to the same high school, and I still only had a graduating class of 150 kids. Whoa. Yeah, real tiny. But still didn't keep anyone from experimenting with drugs. Like suburbs. Wah, wah. And so
YouTube's like, God,
yeah. La 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 la. But I think that was the transitional period when I started to become more quiet and introverted. I did competitive gymnastics for a while, and that was like a really huge part of my schedule. So it took me out of like the socializing part that happens in middle school. So I never really like socially adapted to high school. So I got really introverted and really to myself. And when AOL Instant Messenger came out, I was like, this is where I shine. Yeah.
You're like
This is how I'll
conversation without eye
communicate.
contact.
Oh, it's in the book. I used to go into Yahoo chat rooms and make up characters and pretend to be different people.
I did that too.
Yeah, we were catfishing before catfishing was a thing.
Oh my God.
I know, we're horrible.
I felt like I had so much control in those chat rooms.
I know, same here. I was like, watch this mind game. I'm not a grad student from Portland, but watch this. Yeah, it was really great. I had high hopes. And yeah, and so I became like really into, I was very like observational. I was really fascinated because I didn't really interact. So in hindsight, it was probably a total creep, just sort of watching everyone and like seeing how everyone interacted with each other. And it's in the book too. I remember one summer when Dave and I were dating, I interned in New York City, and he went to boot camp because he was a psychology major and he wanted to study how boot camp affected your brain. Yeah, it was, yeah, God bless. But he went to boot camp, and so he didn't have internet, he didn't have phone, nothing. So we had to communicate by writing letters, which was like really romantic and poetic and bullshit. And I was so lonely living
read Grace's guidebook.
Yeah, well, I was so lonely living on the Upper West Side, and I was, I think, a junior in college. I used to go down to Penn Station and just sit in Penn Station with my notebook and watch people interact with each other and watch people wait by themselves and like see what people did. Yeah, I was a creep.
That's not creepy. I think that's absolutely lovely. I think that like we spend, in the selfie era and the kind of like constant self-awareness and like, promotion of self-awareness. Like, I think it's really important to take a minute to observe the people that are around you.
Well, yeah, this was also before I had a smartphone.
Which is why that's all you stare at now.
Yeah, which is why I'm like, God, where have you been for years? So I got really into myself, and then doing improv is really kind of what brought me out of my shell and really what made me like feel like the comedy community was like the first community I felt like I was part of. And when I got more involved in YouTube, you realize there's a community and everyone just wants to feel like they're part of something. And I didn't know that that's really what I wanted and until it was happening. And yeah, so that, and now I'm me as I am today, which who knows what that is, but it's a grab bag.
It's a grab bag. It's a grab bag. And, Grace, I just have to point out that it was really smart. Really, really smart, because I know you're so private and you care about like trying to retain whatever kind of personal life that you have, to have your sister, this brunette version of you, pose for all your pictures.
Yeah, this is how you know a girl's going through a hard time in her life is when she dyes her hair. And I heard so many people say that to me. And I was like, no way, sometimes you just want to dye your hair. Oh my God, I'm so sad.
I like the brown hair. I thought it was great. I did this and now I have to do something. I mean, it's just the worst.
Well, the best part is that I look at this now and I don't really recognize myself, but my mom has created a whole backstory for why this works. She's like, no, your book's about pretending to be a grown-up. You trying to have brown hair makes you seem like you're pretending to be more serious.
I said that.
Oh.
That's the big thing.
Yeah. Okay. Also, what's this thing with people calling us moms on the internet?
People call me sex god, so I don't know.
Okay.
I know people call you mom because they're like,
you're pronouncing it phonetically. Sex god.
Sex god.
M-O-M.
No, just not. I'm an icon.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm going to go to Twitter, guys. I asked earlier today, so this is a cool, fun part where I go to the social meds.
Interactive.
Yeah, look at this.
Those are faces.
Look at that.
See you tomorrow. I'm just going to look at myself for a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Looking good. Can I take this when we're done? Oh, sorry. I shouldn't ask right now. So anyway. I just want to let that one go. Maddie at Hell Biggie asks, how do you feel?
How do I feel? I feel good. It's always very strange when you talk about yourself.
Clammy, Maddie. She feels clammy.
I'm like dry and scaly. Yeah. I was like, are you projecting?
Yeah,
you felt this? This is like sandpaper molded into a human being right now. Always moisturize when you travel, folks. That's a tip.
That's a pro tip.
Pro tip.
Things are gonna get giggly.
Yeah.
So Anna Corpse at Trinity Labs.
Oh, okay.
You're saying a lot of things here. Yeah. Oh, is it because it's Halloween? People are doing that. People are changing their
you guys
Twitter.
are making your names into Halloween names.
Yeah, I want to do it.
Yeah, what would Hannah Hart be?
Hannah Hartoween. I don't know.
Hartoween.
I'm off right now. I don't know. But you could be Grave Helbig.
Grape?
Grave.
Oh, grave.
Grape.
I was like, are you that weirdo gives everyone fruit that trick or treats to your house?
I feel like that's less safe than the already not safe candy. You know, it's like you don't know what happened to that apple. Don't be paranoid, kids. Next question. Kara at Carrie_Sander asks, did writing a book become a reality after? Oh, wait, nope, should have read that one. Well, you know what? No, we can ask this. Would you have written a book as Daily Grace?
Would I have written a book as Daily Grace? Probably. I mean, I had wanting to write a book for a while. I just didn't know exactly what I wanted to write. I didn't want to write a book for just the sake of writing a book and be like, look, I did it too. I really wanted to have an idea that I felt really strongly about. And I always thought that the first book I would write would be a narrative, would be a book of fiction, because I originally went to school to be a screenwriter and wanted to write films and that sort of thing. So it was interesting that this idea became like a real passion project for me, because I felt very strongly about it and it was really fun to write. And the great thing is my editor, Lauren, who's floating around here, she totally understood the brand and really worked to make it really fun, which made the process that much easier, even though it was a super consolidated process.
Oh, man. How long did it take you to write your book?
6 weeks.
Oof.
Yeah.
6 weeks, guys.
And, yeah.
Let's get a round of applause for that.
It was bonkers. Yeah, I was finishing it when we were in London doing our No Filter shows. And I was talking with people about this before. I remember Mamrie and I shared this teeny tiny hotel room in a London hotel. It became like an instant scum palace.
Oh, it's awful. It's like we've all arrived at the same time. And I go to my room and they go to their room and I go into their room and I'm like, how does it smell like Cheetos?
Yeah, it was real bad. And none of us had been eating Cheetos ever. And Mamrie ate lasagna off the floor in that room. Lots of memories went down in that room. But that's the room I remember like having to really finish my book and make the deadline happen. And that was the room that, some panic attacks happened in. It was a real memorable room right around the YouTube space, London.
Hey, some say her ghost still haunts it.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you this earlier.
Okay.
Speaking of, writing a book in a short period of time,
yeah.
It's recently been announced that quite a few prolific YouTubers are publishing books all at once.
Yeah.
And are you looking forward? Which of those are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to a lot of the books. I'm really interested to see what everyone's point of view is, because that you share so much on YouTube, and I was so worried writing this book. I'm like, I've said so much stuff online to the point that like I made a video while I was writing this book about travel tips, and my editor emailed me. She's like, stop sharing stuff that's in the book on your videos.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, what can I share? What can I write?
I felt the same way with writing the cookbook, because it's like all the recipes in the book were new.
Yeah.
And I was like trying to write the book and shoot MDK at the same time. And I was like, that's great. Stupid.
Yeah. You're like, a brain can only be so creative in so many ways. So how can I possibly like make content for every single medium? So I'm really interested to see, like, I think Justine's story, I've heard like, the vague, more broad strokes of her story of come to being so heavily involved in the digital space that I don't know what kind of book she's writing, but if it's anything like a memoir, I'm really excited to read that, because she was a huge inspiration for me when I first started making web videos. And I know that she went to like LAN parties instead of going to prom in high school. And I'm like, don't really understand LAN parties, but totally relate to the second half of that. So
instead of going to prom.
Yeah.
Did you go to prom?
I did.
How was it?
So I don't relate to that. It was fine. It was totally fine. I went to my
prom. What a like womp, right? Everybody's like prom.
Well, the best I went prom. my actual high school's prom. Not that exciting, not that unique or special. Totally fun.
Meanwhile, your ASB student body president who's watching this is like, I made the theme a walk in the clouds.
Yeah, I blew up so many balloons. My first high school boyfriend was a guy I met at a Latin convention. Yeah, real cool. But he got kicked out of the Latin convention because he was drunk He was smart and troubled, but also like just really nice and smart. And so we started communicating over Instant Messenger for a while and considered each other dating, whatever that meant at the time. And I remember my dad I never talked to my parents about relationships ever. And my dad, because my parents were divorced, would come up on Wednesdays and we'd have like visitation. And he took me to a Best Buy and I was like, I want to get a Ben Folds CD because my Wisconsin boyfriend told me about it. Yeah. And my dad was like, how'd you know about Ben Folds? Because we never talked about music either. We were the kind of family that would watch Saturday Night Live. And then when the music part came on, we'd turn the TV off and talk to each other and wait for the sketch comedy to come back on. And so I told him like, oh, my friend from Wisconsin, blah, blah, blah. And I was really nervous. And he's like, would you ever want to go like visit this friend? And I think he was just so excited that I wasn't a total psychopath, that I had like feelings for someone. I was like, yay. And so I went to his prom in Wisconsin with him, and my stepmom came with me. And it was like the first time that we had hung out since Latin convention. And also I was going to his prom and meeting his parents, and my stepmom was there. It was a very strange experience, but it was super, super fun.
Wow, that's crazy. That's so like forward thinking of your parents, because like, you know, when we were growing up, the internet was just coming to be. It was like every person at the other side was a scary person who didn't want to meet. Yeah. And now, you know, so many people, we actually encourage people to get together and meet each other and hang out together. If you're doing Have a Heart Day, volunteer together, quick self-promotion. But yeah, you know, and at the time it was always like, who is that person? But so kudos to your dad.
Yeah. And then he and his dad came out and visited at my parents' places when they were looking at colleges. And it was like,
so what happened? What happened there? It seems like
it just dissolved. He went to Georgetown and became really smart and cool and
probably drank a lot more.
Yeah, probably. I was a year older than him. And so I went to college, and then it kind of just like, you know, when you go to college, you're like, oh, so many people in real life. Whoa. Yeah. So it just sort of fizzled out, and he had his senior year. And so he's like, senior year, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So you know, technical terms, blah, 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 blah.
You know, speaking of college, actually, this is something that it reminded me that I wanted to ask you this. You know, we have been talking about the It's On Us campaign and stuff like that. And we learned some stuff about like drinking and colleges and experiences in college and stuff like that. And do you have any advice for people who are younger, like about to go to college, about to like be in the college environment?
Yeah, I mean, I think just general life advice that also pertains to going to college is to surround yourself with like-minded people. Find the people that really you are inspired by authentically. You know, find people that build you up and support your ideas, and whose ideas you really want to support. And I think that kind of like that healthy relationship and that mutual understanding, and that, like, I always say the best feeling in the world outside of laughing at something is being inspired, because you can't force that upon yourself. You can make yourself sad if you think about things. You can make yourself happy if you think about things. It's really hard to make yourself inspired. And so when you have people around you that elicit that feeling in you, I think just continue to build that relationship. And that said, like, you know, with the It's On Us campaign, and the whole campaign speaks to the idea that problems with like sexual assault and sexual harassment are community based. It's not just a private thing that one person should have to deal with. It should be something that a community has to deal with. And, you know, glorify the good guy, glorify the nice people. Like, those are what's cool. It's not cool to be a dick. It's cool to be really nice.
Yeah, absolutely. 1,000%.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Isn't it so wild that the idea of like surround yourself with people that build you up and don't put you down?
Yeah.
Surround yourself with people that you feel safe and comfortable with being around. Yeah. Like, that should be a natural assumption.
It should be, but it's not. It took me so long to figure that out.
So many train wrecks.
Yeah, so many people left in the wake. No, it's just you hang out with people and you think like, oh, this is my friend. This is someone that I spend physical time with.
Or you have this like perception of somebody, and you're like, ooh, I want people to see me hanging out with this person.
Yeah,
and then you're like, Jesus, they're psychotic.
Yeah, I can't really be myself. I'll I'll just deal with it. You
We're
shouldn't
gonna
have to deal with anything.
Yeah, save you guys a lot of time. Only hang out with people that you want to be near.
Yeah, and also take the time to find those people. It might not happen right away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it will happen.
Yeah.
Go to a Latin convention.
Yeah, they're all there, ripe for the picking.
Okay, I think we have time for more questions from the Twitter space.
Yeah.
5 more minutes. 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes.
Are you
yeah.
guys having fun? Yeah!
When I-
yeah, and to everyone that's watching live, there should be links so you can go purchase the book if you'd like to. And also at the end of this live stream, there will be a link to exclusive Hey USA bloopers that have never been seen before. Ooh, some girl just grabbed at her chest as if she was so startled by the idea. And we're going to get to watch it here together. So you guys at home will have a link, and you guys here will get to watch us watch it.
I don't think it's been
together.
announced yet, but
Yeah.
Tyler Oakley and I are doing a parody series called Gay USA. Yeah.
I think you
wish.
should.
No, we're not doing that.
Yeah, I really think you should.
Oh God, that'd be such a short trip. We go to one town and be like, where are we going next?
Yeah.
Woof.
I would watch it.
I know you would.
Yeah. I would tell you I watched it.
Yeah. I mailed you a book.
It's in the mail. Mail's so slow.
Oh my God. Okay. Grace.
Yes.
This question comes from. Wow. A lot
I'll
of people.
regale them with a song while you find a question.
Perfect.
Cool,
I got it. Man, is this a strategy on Twitter to just ask a bunch of questions all at once? Because I see like
And
the
then
same
number
3
them?
people.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm
There.
trying to give other people a shot. Here we go. Chloe.
Okay. Chloe.
How did you write a book in 6 weeks and not lose your mind?
Oh, no, that's not true. I definitely lost my mind a few times. Found it at Lost and Found. It was just hanging out there, being real sad, depressed, deflated. And I was like, hey, let's give you some endorphins.
Oh, yeah, guys.
Yeah.
It's not easy. I mean, for a
No.
while, I was deeply
I
concerned.
mean, you were doing Camp Dakota while you wrote your book, which is insane
in
to
that
me.
poop trailer.
Yeah, I didn't do it. You brought that upon yourself.
I didn't do it.
Well, okay, Mamrie did it. She's not here. Mamrie did it.
I may have contributed a little. For those of you that don't know, our film that we did when we were filming, we all shared a trailer in Santa Clarita. I think it was like out there.
Yeah.
It was so hot. It was like 110 degrees.
Mhm.
And one day the trailer shut off over the weekend.
No, the first part of the story is that instantly you and Mamrie shat in the trailer. I didn't. There were other restrooms. I only peed in a trailer because I know where waste goes in a trailer. It doesn't go anywhere. It sits in the bottom of the trailer. And you guys just, without regard for any future endeavors, were like, let it go. Let it go. Yeah. And then we got shut down for permits for 4 days. And we had to abandon our site for 4 days. We came back 4 days later. Unbeknownst to us, trailers had just been sitting in the sun for 4 days.
I mean, I don't know math, but I think 110 degrees times 4 is like
Yeah.
440 degrees.
And I don't know if you've ever like felt a stench with your body. It was, you opened the door and it was like hands of death just like massaging
Entered
you in the
you.
face.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
it was real bad. It was
and
like,
that's where I was supposed to write.
yeah, it's like I felt like it was a rat cult all committed mass suicide in our toilet.
And then waited 4
And
days.
then someone shit on top of it. And it just smelled awful.
I mean, guys, it was really bad.
And to the point that if you came within a 20-foot radius of the trailer, you were like, whoa.
Somebody died and then somebody pooped on them.
Yeah.
So I pooped on that dead body. So that's how she didn't lose her mind.
Yeah. I just recalled that.
Oh, this is a good question.
Okay.
Moa at Zoe's Darling asks, Grace, are you a feminist? Love you, heart, heart.
I don't label myself a feminist. Because I don't fully feminism, and I understand respect for humans as, you know, a group of living, breathing people that affect history and the world. So I never call myself a feminist. I don't think it's wrong to be a feminist. I don't think it's wrong to not be a feminist.
I think that what you're saying is, you know, a perspective of kind of like where we're at right now, which is like, you know, the definition of feminism is that, you know, women and men are equal.
Yeah.
And that men are inherently, by genetic nature, more deserving than women. That's the definition. But I hear what you're saying, which is like you're a personist. You're just, you know,
I just believe in respect for all people and just trying to elicit a quality of like nice. I mean, you only live once. It takes so much effort to be mean and to put someone down or to think that you're better than someone.
Which is not at all what feminists are.
No. I'm not saying that at all. I mean, I'm saying that I just don't label myself because, to be honest, once you label yourself, that kind of invites someone to question that label or to ask about it further. And I don't have the mental capacity to defend it or deny it, so I just don't associate with it. But I don't think anything negative of it.
It's like entering an era beyond labels, which I think is like a great direction to head. And I think we have time for one more question.
Okay.
Pineapple cats.
Wow. Imagine if cats were pineapples. Thank you for the question.
Thank you. Yeah, right. That's the question. No, the question is the word taint in the book? If so, how many times?
Oh, is the word taint in the book? I believe so. I think so. The thing is, wafer taint. Yeah, it's an acronym.
Oh, somebody's got it memorized?
Yeah, it's my editor, Lauren.
Oh.
Yeah, there's an acronym, wafer taint, which I thought like wafers, you know.
Well, what's wafer taint about? What's the chapter? Do you
Let
remember?
me refer to my book. My brain has not been able to recall all of the glorious, memorable acronyms that are within there. But I remember coming up with wafer taint and lolling to myself, by myself.
Gently.
Yeah, just laughing out loud, being like,
wafer taint.
Thinking about wafers and taints near each other. Something about that's real funny. I don't know.
I think that's good. You know, with the
wafers aren't inherently like enjoyable or offensive, and neither are taints. So yeah, together.
I know.
Just imagine. Well, great way to end this live stream. Really thoughtful, provoking, prolific.
I could do another.
Okay, one more bonus.
Okay, one more.
I'm not even looking to the left to get a no from the authorities.
Okay, guys. Here's the last question.
Last question.
Okay, here we go.
It's happening. Almost. Ready. Steady. Here we go. What if God were one of us? Just a stranger. Why would God take the bus? I don't understand.
He's trying to make his way.
Yeah, you'd think you get like Uber.
You're so sassy. So sassy. Do you have any plans for a follow-up book?
No definite plans, but I had such a great time writing this that I would absolutely love to write another book.
Would you give yourself more time to write the book?
Yes, I would give myself more time to write the book.
Oh.
Would I dye my hair brown again? No.
Well, I don't think we can make any of those statements.
No, who knows? Maybe I'll fall into a real deep depression and think red it is.
All right, Grace. Well, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, Hannah Hart, for being here. Yay.
Thank you guys for coming.
Yes, thank you guys for being here. Make sure if you guys are watching at home that you go to gracesguidebook.com to buy the book, or go to any bookstore because it's out and available now, and find the link for the exclusive Hey USA bloopers. Woo woo. Thanks, guys. See ya when we see ya. I don't know.